What's up, Red Wings fans? Welcome to the Forecheck presented by Athletico Physical Therapy. I'm Daniella Bruce, joined by Ken, Kal, and we're live from Little Caesars Arena. Ken, another Friday night in Hockey Town with the Ottawa Senators in town. It's going to be a good one tonight.
It certainly is, especially after a big victory by the Red Wings over the Montreal Canadiens. I say big because the Red Wings really needed a win, and they did it in front of their home crowd, and it was just an outstanding performance by the team, especially in the third period.
Let's take a look back at that game on Tuesday night. As you said, Ken, it was a much-needed win, and that puts the Red Wings at 3-0 against Montreal this season, which is something that has been unheard of in the past few years for the Red Wings. But it was Franzen Nielsen that would get the goal right here to give the Red Wings, he would get him on the board first. And Franzen Nielsen has been struggling a little bit to find the score sheet, and wearing the A on his chest, that's got to be a little bit frustrating for him.
He's been playing pretty good defensively and winning faceoffs all season long, but it's good to see the offensive numbers coming, Daniella. And for him to be a -5 on a team that's goal differential is -72 says a lot of good things about Franzen Nielsen. He's picking up the points now, and that's good for him because we all know that he is a good, solid two-way player. But he struggled. He hasn't performed to where he wanted to be offensively, but it seems like he's coming around now, and that's a good sign for him.
And then taking a look at the Red Wings' second goal of the night, what a play by Dylan Larkin in the corner to force the turnover. Tyler Bertuzzi sets up Robbie Fabry, and hey, Fabry's been great all season, so he buries this one.
Absolutely, and boy, that was a good top-shelf goal, and he has scored some big goals for the Red Wings since he came over from St. Louis.
And we've been talking about Franzen Nielsen. That wasn't his only goal of the night. A little give and go here by Mike Green to set up Nielsen on what was pretty much a breakaway, and he had a nice move there to finish that one.
Kind of reminds me of when he's on the shootout, because he's almost a 50% player on the shootout. He's been struggling even on the shootout this year, but usually when he gets a breakaway, he never misses, and that was a good passing play to set it up, and a good move on a backhand by Franzen Nielsen for his second goal of the contest.
And now we're going to take a look at the game-winning goal. Adam Murney sets up a pretty much wide open Filip Zadina right in front of the net. Now Zadina has been playing awesome thus far this season. He's got 11 points in 16 games.
Filip made the play initially. Ernie with a good feed from in behind the net right out in front to Zadina. And what I like about Zadina right there, Daniella, is that when we think of Filip Zadina, we think of that hard rocket shot from the right circle. But this time he found his way in the dirty area in front of the net, got the perfect feed from Ernie and buried it. And that's what's good about him, is he's getting some confidence now. He's seeing the ice well, getting to those open areas, and really playing well.
Definitely. And as I said, Franzen Nielsen had a 2-goal night against Montreal. And we talked about it. Like you said, he's been playing well defensively, and he does wear that A. So he's a leader on this team. And I'm sure that this is a very big confidence booster for him as well.
You look at his plus-minus too, and he's only been a minus player twice in his past 10 games. So that tells you he's getting a little bit better in the plus-minus department, and he's also contributing offensively. And we all know that he can score, and it'll be good for the second half for this Red Wing team for him to really lead as far as the veterans go and get some points on the board, and that'll certainly help the Red Wings win a lot more hockey games in the second half.
Ken, one other note that we did not mention during that highlight pack, Giovanni Smith picked up an assist on Franzen Nielsen's first goal, getting his first NHL point. Carly Johnston has more.
Two notable players after Tuesday night's game are Giovanni Smith and Filip Zadina. Smith had his first NHL point, and Zadina scored his second goal in 2 games. They're looking to keep the ball running tonight against the Ottawa Senators and have a solid second period. Going into a Friday night game, what's it going to take to repeat that success?
Just play the same way that we did last game. You know, we had a strong second period and a strong third period, so you know, it helped secure the win.
What has it been lately? It almost seems like the second period has been your enemy.
Yeah, second period's been tough. You know, we've been watching video about that and like how to, you know, things we can do to fix our second period. So once we start working on that, which we did last game, you know, we're going to start winning more hockey games.
How are you feeling having this opportunity? How grateful are you, and how are you feeling fitting into the NHL kind of fast-paced movement?
Yeah, I think I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I got a lot of familiar faces around here, so it's, you know, it kind of takes the pressure off. You know, so you know, having Robbie here and Tyler, also like he's played junior with those guys, so it's, you know, it's just comes down to playing on the ice hockey. So it's, you know, that I'm pretty confident in, and it's easy transition for me so far.
You guys are 0-2 against the Senators in this season. What's it going to take to make it 1-2 instead of 0-3?
I think if we get on the board early and then have a strong second half or second period, and from there we have a real chance of getting the win.
All right, you're on fire lately. You had 2 goals in 2 games. You've been playing really well. How are you feeling out on the ice?
Thank you, and I'm feeling good. We're feeling better as a team. We're playing better than we used to play, and we're doing the right things on the ice, and that's probably why we won last game. So it has been great so far, and we just need to keep going, and we'll be fine.
Not only did you get a goal in the last game, but it was the game-winning goal in a very tight game. How did that feel? That was a great celly, by the way.
Thanks. It was great. It was a good pass from Ernie from down low, and I just buried the goal. So it was great, and it felt awesome.
The Red Wings have struggled against the Ottawa Senators so far this season, but coming off of a win, the confidence is high in the locker room. Back to you, Daniella.
Thank you, Carly. And Ken, we'll get to talking about Ottawa in just a minute here. But first, I want to ask you a question. Something Giovanni Smith said in that piece. He said that their second period has been a lot better. Well, it was a lot better in that Montreal game because it has been a struggle for them to keep things going in the second. What do you think was the difference against Montreal than what we've seen in the past?
Well, they didn't lose it. And I think that's the case that's been happening with the Red Wings all season long is when they have a bad second period, when it rains, it pours. And
right.
Other teams start scoring goals in bunches against Detroit, and the wheels come off. And it didn't happen in the game against Montreal. So I give credit to the leadership on the Red Wing team for hanging in there in the second period. But what I really liked is the fact that they came from behind in that third period, and it seemed like the crowd really got behind the Red Wings, and they just took off after that. So, Montreal played the night before. Maybe they're a little bit tired, but you got to give credit to the Red Wings for their comeback and their tenacious play, especially in the offensive zone.
We're looking for more tenacious play tonight against Ottawa because they're not going to be able to play bad in the second period again. They're going to have to keep that rolling against this team. And last time Ottawa was in Detroit, they won 4-3, and Anthony Duclair was an absolute killer for the Red Wings. He had 3 points on the night with 2 goals and an assist. And we're looking here at Jean-Gabriel Pageau, too, who is also a top point scorer for the Ottawa Senators. Not only these two, this team has been pretty good this season. So what do the Red Wings have to look out for tonight?
Well, Anthony Duclair, he finally found a home. He's one of those guys that has been well-traveled in an early age in the National Hockey League, and it seems like he found a home in Ottawa, and the numbers are a reflection of that. 42 games, he's got 21 goals, 11 assists, 2 game-winning goals this season. And then Duclair Pageau has been terrific, especially on the road. 11 of his 19 goals have been scored on the road, so you got to keep an eye on him tonight. If the Red Wings want to win this hockey game, they better keep an eye on Pageau. He's been really good and sparking this Ottawa Senator team.
So keeping an eye on Pageau, one of the keys to tonight. But Ken, for them to get a victory, for the Red Wings to come out on top tonight, what do we need to see?
Well, I just think that they just need to play that hard-nosed type of hockey, especially what we saw in the third period in the offensive zone. I thought in the first couple of periods, the Red Wings struggled a little bit. When you're on the power play, you just can't give chances, shorthanded chances. And, the first goal was a shorthanded effort that really hurt the Red Wings early on. But, they had a lot of resolve. They came back and they ended up winning that hockey game. So, again, play in the offensive zone. And, again, just don't turn over the puck. And when you start turning pucks over in the National Hockey League, it ends up in the back of your net. So if they can play a clean game, work on more takeaways and giveaways, they should win this game.
And Ken, before we wrap up today's Forecheck, we got to talk to you about the interview you did earlier this week. You sat down with Red Wings general manager Steve Yzerman for kind of a mid-season conversation to see the state of the team and from his perspective. What can we learn from that interview?
Well, we talked about a variety of topics, Daniella, and we talked about the World Junior Championships, and he saw 5 Red Wing prospects that we talked about in our Forecheck show earlier, watched them all play. So we covered that area. We covered the first half. We talked about the injuries and, the coaches and everything else, and also the second half of the season, what to expect. So there's a lot to be covered, I think, in 18, 20 minutes, whatever the interview was, but certainly it's a must-watch for the Red Wing fans out there, talking with General Manager Steve Yzerman.
As he said, guys, a must-watch. So you can catch that on all of the Red Wings social media channels or DetroitRedWings.com. And, of course, tonight's game. If you can't be down here, you can tune in to 97.1 The Ticket, listen to your very own Ken Kal, or you can catch the game broadcast live on Fox Sports Detroit. Thank you guys so much for tuning in today. We'll see you next time.